We're here at one of Valemount's great riding areas. What an awesome day. I can't wait to get out there. See you on the trail.
Valemount, British Columbia is a picturesque village nestled between three mountain ranges, the Rockies, the Caribous, and the Monachees. The area offers stunning mountain scenery and endless recreational activities, just 15 minutes from majestic Mount Robson and only 1 hour from world-famous Jasper National Park.
The Valemount area has some of the best mountain snowmobiling anywhere, with endless powder snow, wide open spaces, and incredible scenery. No matter what your skill level, you'll find it here. Today we're headed to Clemina Creek, just 25 minutes south. Clemina is an excellent area for all levels of riding ability, with spectacular mountain views in every direction. My co-host and guide on this adventure is Curtis Pawliuk, manager of the Valemount and Area Recreation Development Association, or Varda. It's starting out to be a beautiful day, but the forecast calls for light snow. I'm pretty new at mountain sledding, but I know I'm in good hands with an experienced rider like Curtis with me. Before we got started, I met up with 3 sledders from Jasper. They do something interesting. They sled up to the alpine, then ski or snowboard down. So this is Phil from Jasper. How long have you been sled skiing in Valemount?
About 9 years, since 2008.
Excellent. And how would you say it compares to other areas?
It's way better. No, just kidding. It kind of is though. Like there's a lot more snow here than most other places, like a little bit more than down south it seems. Maybe not Revelstoke, but maybe a little more than Golden. There's a lot less people like doing what we do anyway for sled skiing and sled snowboarding. There's definitely not as many people. You don't have to fight for lines as much. Mm-hmm. It's always good. Like, every day is good.
Have a great day riding, boys. Curtis has the sleds all ready, so it's time to gear up and get riding. Proper clothing and even extra clothing are a must, but more on that later. The friendly Varda staff are there to sell trail passes and provide updates on current conditions.
Stay safe out there.
We're heading into avalanche country, so it's important to check the avalanche condition and make sure our avalanche beacons are working. I'm good to go. Can't wait to get up there. It's a 20-kilometer or 12-mile ride up to the Clemina Creek cabin. Varda grooms the trail regularly, so it's a smooth, easy ride. Here comes the snow. Can't complain though. All that powder is what makes Valemount such an awesome riding area. The mountains look so beautiful and peaceful draped in snow. It didn't take us long to reach the Clemina cabin, a brand new warming cabin and staging area for heading up into the alpine. The views from up here are amazing. Miles and miles of untracked powder. I'm here with Curtis Pawliuk, manager of Varda. So tell me, Curtis, what does Varda stand for and what do they do?
Varda is the Valemount Area Recreation Development Association. We're a non-profit association based out of Valemount, consisting of a range of local businesses and backcountry users. We specialize in public recreation promotion, infrastructure management, and construction.
Where are we and where are we going to go today?
Today we're in Clemina Creek. It's one of Varda's 4 main managed snowmobile areas. Clemina Creek's one of our main managed areas. It's great for all ages. It's a gentle riding area into the alpine cabin with multiple offshoots that allow for some amazing mountain snowmobiling.
Excellent.
Agreed.
What other areas does Varda manage?
Varda manages a total of 5 recreational areas. 4 of them are managed snowmobile areas. We have where we are now, which is a Clemina Creek cabin. It's 36 kilometers south of Valemount. From the Clemina staging area, we can ride the Clemina Creek snowmobile area as well as the Keyhole area. A little farther south of us is the Allen Creek area, about 40 kilometers. That's a larger area. It has some great family riding around the cabin, a little bit more advanced riding as we push farther back. A little bit yet farther south down the highway, we have Chapel Creek, which is a very large open area, kind of our crown jewel, has some of the deepest snow that we get in the valley, and has riding for all levels and abilities. Our 5th area would be our one-of-a-kind snowmobile assisted ski area. So that's Crystal Ridge, located just outside the community of Valemount. It's one-of-a-kind in the world, similar to downhill mountain biking, where we can access the area with our snowmobiles and ride some amazing skiing terrain.
Excellent. I understand that there's a trail pass fee for using the trails. How much is it and what does it go towards?
So to access these managed areas, it is a $25 user fee. Those user fees go towards many things for the club operations. So we have a grooming program that we operate up to 5 to 7 days a week, very large expense, and that's where 90% of those trail fees go to. Sponsorships from local businesses and out-of-town businesses also help support that grooming system. The $25 also goes towards things such as parking lot plowing, infrastructure maintenance. We're sitting in a beautiful new cabin right now that was partially constructed out of those funds as well. And then we've got a lot of pressure for some new terrain. We need to repair our old existing trails. You know, we've been here for a long time. There's a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of work it takes to keep these things going.
What level of rider do you need to be to go in all these different areas?
You know, the groom trail riding is amazing. We can access some pretty high-end terrain, a very, very simple trail system. And you can only go as far as you're willing to push yourself. So once you get up to the top of the groom trail, you can either hang low and stay and ride the lower valley cut blocks and some of the easier terrain, or you have many, many options to push yourself into some of the bigger mountains should your training and skills meet the needs, and head off and go for an adrenaline rush.
Awesome. What makes Valemount a great mountain riding destination?
I think the coolest thing about the community of Valemount is our location. We're centrally located within 3 major mountain snowmobile communities. So we have McBride to the north, Blue River to the south of us. So just by basing your vacation and your accommodations out of Valemount, you can use all the amenities from our local community and still ride 3 amazing Valemount riding destinations.
Excellent. The Clemina cabin is a perfect place to warm your bones. Or maybe just grab lunch and swap stories with fellow riders about the great day you're having. This is Chris. What do you like about mountain riding?
Just being here. We get to experience some of the most pristine terrain there is in the world, and less than 10% of the population in Canada will ever experience it, so it's unbelievable. Like, why would you not want to be here?
What areas do you like to ride in Valemount?
Chapel's pretty good. Allen Creek's really good. We're in Clemina today, which is really good. Everywhere you go, it has every level from expertise to beginner. You can always find snow. It's a pretty good place to go.
Enough talk. Time to hit the alpine. We're headed to an awesome alpine riding area called Old Hill Climb. just 2 kilometers or 1.2 miles from the cabin. It's an easy ride on a groomed road. Every once in a while, though, you just have to stop and take in those views. All I can say is, wow. Riding in all this powder takes a little practice. It's not so hard. I'm starting to get the hang of it. It's like floating on a cloud. So Curtis, safety is a big part of mountain riding. What kind of equipment and training do you need?
So yeah, up here in the Valemount area, we are riding a lot of mountain terrain. In mountain terrain, there's many hazards out there besides the obvious, just the avalanche stuff. So we do need a good level of avalanche training. We recommend a minimum of the Avalanche Skills Training 1. That's offered by many providers throughout the Western provinces. It's a 2-day program. Teaches you the basics on how to understand the hazard bulletin, how to understand and access the information provided from the Canadian Avalanche Centre, and also how to use the equipment we all carry on our backs. But the most important thing we can bring out here, honestly, is our brain. We need to make smart decisions out here. We're in the backcountry. We're a long ways away from help. We are our only lifeline for help if an accident does happen. So we need to be prepared. So yes, we need to have the avalanche equipment, but we also need to have some of the basic safety equipment. We need to be able to light a fire. We need to be prepared to spend a night. We need to have some extra food, some warm clothes. The basic repair kit, the basic tools that you need to fix your machine. Really, we need to be able to spend a night out here. We're a long ways away from help. Now we need to be prepared, and we need to be able to handle at least one night out here in the bush in case an accident does happen. Now, some of the equipment that can help with that stuff, in case we do have an emergency out here, we always want some sort of communication. So here we have an in-reach device. Now, this is what I like about this thing is it's a two-way piece of communication, right? So there are other devices out there where you can hit a button. You never know if the person on the other end actually heard you, actually got the signal, and if help is actually on the way. This little unit here, we can push a button, we can send a text, so we can actually alert a 911, alert search and rescue that we need help. We can also text family members, loved ones, people waiting for us at home, or emergency personnel. So this thing here, I highly recommend when you're heading out in the backcountry, you get a two-way piece of communication. So that can either be the in-reach device here, or we also have a satellite phone here. So again, two-way communication is something we really preach. Satellite phones, they've come a long way, although the inReach device, it just tends to work that much better. We can't get that direct voice-to-voice communication, but we can get confirmation that messages are received, and they're received very quickly. And also on the way in, say you do have a situation where you do need search and rescue, with a device like the inReach with the two-way communication, they can communicate with you while they're en route to the rescue. You know, basic stuff, extra water, very simple first aid kit, you know, everything that I would need to handle most medical emergencies, any small medical emergency that doesn't require outside help. Two-way communication with our group members. So here we have a setup from Backcountry Access. It's a radio system where the radio is held in my backpack. This is strapped to my back so I can hear my friends at all times. We can communicate to each other. Communication is very important out here, especially as we head into bigger terrain or tighter treed terrain even. Okay. Now what's so cool about this little system here is we have transceiver interference. So electronic equipment can interfere with our transceivers, with our Avalanche beacons. This thing here is stowed a minimum of 30 centimeters away from that transceiver, and it helps with the signal and limit any interference that might happen with my Avalanche beacon. Now, speaking of beacons, this here is a newer style 3 antenna transceiver. So you know that old junk that your grandpa gave you or your uncle passed down, it has no place out here.
Right.
We need new equipment, we need updated equipment. Digital 3 antenna transceivers are the standard. They're very easy to use. They have microprocessors inside them like little mini computers. They give us directional arrows and distance readings. Very simple to use. I often play with these with my young daughters and they find transceivers all over the backyard. It's a great way to play hide and go seek.
It's great.
Now, along with the transceiver trifecta, or the Avalanche trifecta, we need a good sturdy shovel. Good sturdy shovel. So again, not the one that you can get from Costco. That one doesn't work out here. It doesn't belong out here. So a nice long handle, good sturdy blade, something that's actually meant to dig through avalanche debris, okay? Also helps if you get your snow machine stuck.
Right.
Also on the stuck side, snow saw. So this thing here, I use it for snow science, but it also dubs as, you know, in case I need to cut a poor little tree down, doing tree riding, you know, you can get your sled wrapped around a tree. A good little saw can save hours and hours and hours of digging. She fell down over here, but we also have an avalanche probe. Okay, so this unit here packs down very small. Looks like a mess right now. Simply throw the unit out in front of me, give it a pull and a shake. Okay, so now I have a 3-meter long probe that I can use to help find my friends in the event of an avalanche. Okay, the transceiver is only one tool of the program. The transceiver gets us near our avalanche victim. The probe finds them. The shovel gets them out of the snow. Okay. So Jen's now got the avalanche pack on, installed properly. So we've got the crotch strap on, we've got the buckle up secured nice and tight, chest strap on, pack's fitting very good. Now one thing we want to preach as avalanche educators here is we've got a handle here for our airbag. Now this needs to be out. If that handle's not out and we have no access to it, we can't use it. That crotch strap is very important as this airbag deploys in an avalanche, you could potentially pin your arms up above your head if you didn't have that crotch strap held. So in the event of an avalanche emergency, you know, it's like an airbag in your car. We're not riding any harder, we're not riding any more aggressively because we're wearing this thing, but it's just another safety device should we need it. Now what we do in the event of an avalanche, and there you have it. Now this device here technically would assist us in coming up to the surface. It's kind of like a jar of marbles and sand. You shake it all up, the marbles come up to the surface. Hopefully you're a very pretty marble and we find you on top of the snow.
Great.
So rule of thumb, come out here prepared, pack all your gear. Everything I showed you here is very basic. There can be so much more, but remember the most important thing we can have out here is our brains. We need to make smart decisions. We're a long way from help. There's a lot of stuff that go wrong, but we all want to come home at the end of the day. Sound good?
That's great. Thank you for all the great information.
If you need to rent a snowmobile in Valemount or pick up some safety gear or clothing, head on over to Alpine Country Rentals.
I'm here with Vince Clark, owner of Alpine Country Rentals. Hey Vince, what kind of things does Alpine Country Rentals offer for mountain snowmobiling?
Alpine Country Rentals offers snowmobile clothing, helmets and goggles. We also do avalanche gear. We're an Avalanche Backcountry Access authorized dealer, so we can refill canisters, sell you bags, shovels and probes, and we do parts and repairs as well.
Oh, excellent. And I understand that you also offer guided services.
Yeah, the guided service is either you can go with a guide and you own your own snowmobile, or we do a guided tour where we supply the snowmobile and the guide and all your avalanche gear, and it's an all-inclusive package.
Okay. And you are Valemount's only provider of snowmobile rentals.
Yeah, Alpine Country Rentals has been doing snowmobile rentals for about 15 years, and we've been specializing in the Bombardier product. So we just in the past year we have started supplying Polaris snowmobiles. So we do both brands, and yeah, with great success. It's been fun for us.
Great. Well, thank you for all the great information.
Thanks, Jen.
There's no stopping me now. I'm off to explore and let Curtis show you that Clemina is a great area for advanced riders as well as beginners.
Well, Jen, thanks for coming. Discover Valemount. We finally got you up here, winter episode. As you can see, it's not that hard. Rookie snowmobiler, right? Groom trail. We can get up to destinations like this. We have fresh snow, alpine terrain, some of the most beautiful sights in British Columbia. So mountain snowmobiling, it's not that hard. Can be done by everybody. We got you up here. You're having fun. Absolutely. Anybody of all ages can do this stuff. Valemount has terrain that can appease anybody. Look where we are. We're in some of the most beautiful terrain. Dixon Glacier behind us. Now it's time to go home. Thanks for coming and riding Valemount.
Thank you. Man, I had an awesome day mountain riding. Thanks to Curtis, manager of Varda, for taking me out. For more information on riding the mountains in Valemount, please contact Varda. See you next time.